Oh, hi everyone. Welcome back to Karen Vibes. How you all doing? Hope your Saturday evening is going wonderful. Yeah, I just came back from in the town. I went into Brownstone to get some stuff done, and boy, I tell you, the time is so hot, guys. The time is so hot. I'm praying that we don't get another hurricane. Mosquitoes them all over the place. We'll use some destroyer. I'm praying we don't get another storm. Yeah, so we're back here again. Welcome back to Karen Vibes, reading for the mature audience. Welcome back. Remember, you can find me on YouTube, Karen Vibes, which is KarenVibes, and that's with an exclamation sign. Yeah, my hair tends to get very hot around my neck, so when I plait it, it's not that bad. So it needs washing now, though. I'll probably wash my hair tomorrow. Yeah, I had some serious problem with my edges. I don't know, but maybe because I tend to catch up my hair so tight, you know. But I stopped doing that now. I made some carrot oil. Day before yesterday, carrot oil mixed with cloves. And they say it's good for growing back your hedges. Your hedges, that's how it said. It's good for growing back your edges of your hair. So let me see if it works, guys. Person say it works, so saw it on YouTube. Make your own oil. So we'll see. Probably I'll wash my hair tomorrow. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into our story. So the name of the book is Flowers in the Attic, and it's written by Virginia Andrews, and it's narrated by moi, Karen Weir. So welcome everyone. I'm glad to have you join on my space. Joining my space. Alright, so we had stopped at we had finished reading part 6. Part 6 was really long, yeah. And now we are at part 7, so we're at a new chapter. So we're at chapter 7. So without further ado, let's get into it. So you want to follow where I've been reading, as I usually say, just go onto my page and you can just pick up from where I left off. Or if you're new, you can just visit my page and go right to where I started. Alright, so let's get into it. The grandmother's house. The day dawned dim behind the heavy, drawn draperies that we had been forbidden to open. Christopher sat up first, yawning, stretching, and grinning over at me. "Hi," Tousleheddy he greeted. His hair was as tousled as mine, much more so. I don't know why God chose to give him and Corey such curly hair, when he gave Carrie and me only waves. And, all boy that he was, he tried with mighty effort to brush out those curls. As I sat and hoped they would jump from his head over to mine. I sat up and looked around this room that was perhaps 16 by 16, large, but with two double beds, a massive high boy, a large dresser, two overstuffed chairs, a dressing table between the two front windows, with its own small chair, plus a mahogany table with 4 chairs. It seemed a small room, cluttered. Between the two big beds was another table with a lamp. Altogether, there was 4 lamps in the room. Beneath all the ponderous, dark furniture was a faded oriental red rug with gold fringe. At one time, it must have been a beautiful thing. But now it was old and worn. The walls were papered in cream with white flocking. The bedspreads were gold colored and made of some heavy fabric like quilted satin. There were 3 paintings on the walls. Golly lolly, they did steal your breath away. Grotesque demons chased dark people in underground caverns, colored mostly red. Unearthly monsters devoured over pitiful souls. Even as their legs still kicked, they dangled from slobbering mouths, filled with long, shiny, sharp teeth. You are now gazing on hell, as some might see it, my know-it-all brother informed me. 10 to 1, our angel grandmother hung those reproductions herself, just to let us know what we're in for, if we dare to disobey her. Look like Goya's work to me, he said. I think Goya is an artist, well-known artist. My brother did know everything, next to being a doctor. He wanted to be an artist. He was exceptionally good at drawing, using watercolors, oil paints, and so on. He was good at mostly everything except picking up after himself and waiting on himself. Just as I made a move to get up and go into the bath, Christopher jumped from his bed and beat me to it. Why did Carrie and I have to be so far from the bath? Impatiently, I sat on the edge of the bed, swinging my legs, and waited for him to come out. That was not at all surprising. Carrie was born opinionated, even before she could talk, and she talked at 9 months. She knew what she liked and what she hated. There was never a middle road for Carrie. It was down, low, or up sky high. She had the cutest little voice when she was pleased. Sounded very much like a sweet little bird chirping happily in the mornings. Trouble was, she chirped all day. She chirped all day long, unless she was asleep. Carrie talked to dolls, teacups, teddy bears, and other stuffed animals. Anything that sat and didn't answer back was worthy of her conversation. After a while, I got so I didn't even hear her incessant chatter. I just turned it off and let her rattle on and on. Corey was entirely different. While Carrie chattered on and on, he'd sit and listen attentively. I recall Miss Simpson saying, Corey was a still water that ran deep. I always hear them say that people who are quiet. What I say? Silent river run deep. Jamaicans, that's a Jamaican saying. One of these days, guys, we're going to look at some Jamaican sayings. I always love them old time sayings. So this reminds me of a Jamaican saying where she's saying that Corey was a still water that ran deep. That's a silent river run deep. I still don't know what she meant by that, except quiet people did exude some illusion of mystery that kept you wondering just what they really were beneath the surface. Kathy twittered, my baby-faced small sister. Did you hear me say I don't like it here? Hearing this, Corey scrambled from his bed and ran to jump into ours. And there he reached for his twin and held her tight, his eyes wide and scared. In his solemn way he asked, How did we get here? Last night on a train, don't you remember? No, I don't remember. And we walked through the woods in the moonlight. It was very pretty. Where is the sun? Is it still night? Behind the draperies the sun hid. But if I dared to tell Corey that, then he was for sure going to want to open those draperies and look outside. and once he saw outside, he was going to want to go outside. I didn't know what to say. Someone in the hall fumbled with the door lock, saving me from giving any answer at all. Our grandmother carried into the room a large tray laden with food, covered with a large white towel. In a very brisk, businesslike way, she explained that she couldn't be running up and down the stairs all day carrying heavy trays. Once a day only, my goodness. Once a day only, she says. If she came too often, the servants might notice. I think from now on I'll use a picnic basket, she said, as she set the tray down on the little table. She turned to look at me as if I were in charge of the meals. You are to make this food last throughout the day. Divide it into 3 meals. The bacon, eggs, toast, and cereal are for breakfast. The sandwiches and the hot soup in the small thermos are for your lunch. The fried chicken, potato salad, and string beans are for your dinner. You can eat the fruit for dessert. And if at the end of the day you are silent and good, I may bring you ice cream and cookies or cake. No candy, ever. We can't have you getting tooth cavities. There won't be any trips to a dentist until your grandfather dies. Christopher had come from the bathroom fully dressed, and he too stood and stared at the grandmother, who could so easily talk of the death of her husband, showing no distress. It was as if she were speaking of some goldfish in China that would soon die in a fishbowl that would soon die in a fishbowl. And clean your teeth after every meal, she went on, and keep your hair brushed neatly, and your bodies clean and fully clothed. I do despise children with dirty faces and hands and runny noses. Excuse me a second, folks. Let me just go check on something. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Where were we? So the grandmother is saying to them, I do despise children with dirty faces and hands and even runny noses. Even as she said this, Corey's nose was running. I used a tissue to wipe it for him. Poor Corey. He had hay fever most of the time, and she hated children with runny noses. And be modest in the bathroom, she said, looking particularly hard at me and then Christopher, who was now lounging insolently against the door frame of the bath. Girls and boys are never to use the same bathroom together. I felt a hot flush stain my cheeks. What kind of kids did she think we were? Next we heard something for the first time which we were to hear over and over again like a needle stuck in a scratched record. And remember, children, God sees everything. God will see what evil you do behind my back. And God will be the one to punish when I don't. From her dress pocket, she pulled a sheet of paper. Now on this paper, I have listed the rules you are to follow while you are in my home. She laid the list down on the table and told us we should read and memorize them. Then she spun around to leave. But no, she headed towards the closet that we hadn't yet investigated. Children, beyond this door and in the far end of the closet is a small door concealing the steps to the attic. Up in the attic, there is an ample space for you to run and play and make a reasonable amount of noise. But you are never to go up there until after 10 o'clock. Before 10, the maids will be on the second floor doing their morning chores. And they could hear you running about. Therefore, always be conscious you can be heard below if you are too noisy. After 10, the servants are forbidden to use the second floor. One of them has started stealing. Until that thief is caught red-handed. I'm always present when they straighten up the bedrooms. In this house, we make our own rules and execute the deserved punishment. As I said last night, on the last Friday of each month, you will go in the attic very early and sit quietly without talking or scuffling your feet. Do you understand me? She stared at each of us in turn, impounding her words with mean, hard eyes. Christopher and I nodded. The twins only gazed at her in a strange kind of fascination. Close to awe. Further explanations informed us that she would check our room and bath to see we left no hint of ourselves on that Friday. Everything said she left. Once she locked us in. Now we could breathe. So we stop right there, folks. So we stop right there for today, and we will be back. Again, when we come back, we will pick up back. So we'll pick up from where we left off. So we're what am I saying? I'm fumbling over my words. So when we get back, we will pick up from where we left off. So we're still at part 7. We're still at chapter 7. Alright, so we'll pick up back when we come back again. So thank you all for joining me. Please remember, as I usually say, to like, subscribe, and share. Please tell your friends about the page. I'm waiting on my subscribers. I need to be able to go live. So please subscribe, share, like. Please leave a comment what you think about the stories that I've read so far and the one that I'm reading now. I would love to hear from you guys. I'd love to hear from you. Alright, so I'm gonna run. I'm actually cooking some ackee. So I boiled the ackee already, so when I left a while ago I went to strain it out. So I'm gonna get that seasoned up with some sweet pepper and tomato and onions and stuff like that. And then we'll have it with sweet potatoes. I can't have too much of the sweet potato because I have to be careful of the potassium in it. But yeah, I will upload a video of what I was doing last week Sunday. Remember I told you folks I would let you know the project that I'm working on. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek of what I was doing last week Sunday. I was down there the whole day. So I'll upload that video shortly. Alright folks, so enjoy the rest of your weekend. Today is Saturday. Sunday, I see a lot of people on the road doing their back to school shopping. For those persons who have children going back to school and stuff like that, you know, just take it easy. You know, do what you have to do. Alright folks, I will catch you again. Enjoy the rest of the evening. And I'll see you